Thank you, Michelle, and I'm glad that you're on the mend. To the classes of 2020 and 2021, welcome back. This has been an emotional week as we process our grief and anger at the lethal rampage at Robb Elementary in Uvalde, Texas, coming just days after the mass shootings in Buffalo, New York, and Laguna Woods, California. It's easy to feel overwhelmed by the multitude and magnitude of the public health challenges we face, including the pandemic and gun violence. But there's a reason to be optimistic, and days like today remind us why. Looking out at the sea of crimson caps and gowns makes me remember my own commencement when I received my master's in health policy and management from Harvard Chan. And don't ask me how long ago that was. It also drives home what it means to be part of our community. Just a few years after our school opened its doors in 1913, a new type of influenza emerged and quickly engulfed the world. At the time, humanity didn't even know that influenza viruses existed, so there were no lab tests to detect them, there were no vaccines to prevent them, no antiviral drugs to treat them, and no antibiotics to combat the secondary bacterial infections that so often followed them. All told, the Spanish flu of 1918 would infect 500 million people, 1/3 of the world's populations. By some estimates, the disease killed 8 to 10% of all young adults. Here in the United States, life expectancy plummeted by more than a decade in just 1 year. It was one of the darkest times for public health in recorded history. Many feared our cities would be engulfed in wave after wave of infectious disease. But that's not what happened. Indeed, the century that followed was one of unimaginable human flourishing. Global life expectancy not only rebounded, it soared. Think about this. Americans born in 1918 had a life expectancy of just 39 years. Their great-grandkids have double that. And that doesn't just hold for the global north. If you were born in India in the 1920s, you'd beat the odds if you made it to your 30th birthday. Today, you'd have a good chance of seeing your 70th. It's hard to overstate how incredible that is. This drastic shift in our fates is what economist Angus Deaton dubbed the Great Escape, where we've escaped the poor health and living standards that once capped our lifespans as a species. Broadly speaking, we are living healthier, wealthier, and longer lives than our ancestors, even our grandparents, could have imagined. The question is why? To what do we owe this incredible longevity? It's funny, we tend to give time itself a lot of credit. We have sayings like, "Time heals all wounds," as if the passing of years and decades somehow guarantees progress. Because we've seen such steady improvement in our own lifetimes, it's no wonder that people today assume that things have always and will always get better with time. But the truth is, it's what we do with time that shapes history and transforms lives. And one thing we've done over the past century is cultivate a robust and dedicated public health community. That has fueled our great escape in countless ways. There was the explosion of vaccine development for diseases like polio and smallpox, and the mass mobilization to get shots in arms. The invention of antibiotics, which halted rampant deaths from tuberculosis and pneumonia, not to mention from simple scrapes and cuts. Improvements in sanitation, refrigeration, and pasteurization. There were process breakthroughs, like the invention of randomized control trials that allow us to isolate cause and effect. And there were tireless advocacy campaigns for everything from safer working conditions to seatbelt laws, from food safety and air quality regulations to cigarette warning labels. Some public health developments were sudden and seismic. Others were subtle and iterative. But the cumulative impact has been extraordinary. Think of how much we've accomplished since the classes of 1920 and 21 were in your seats. We've won the fight against smallpox. Polio has been nearly vanquished. HIV and AIDS are no longer a death sentence. We've made groundbreaking advancements in cancer treatments. We've sequenced the human genome. Global hunger and malnutrition have declined, and child deaths have dropped more than 70% worldwide. Now think of where we could be in 100 years more. Of course, there's a catch. The more we benefit from public health, the more we, as a society, take it for granted. For the most part, progress in our field is marked by non-occurrences. The water that wasn't contaminated, the virus that didn't spread, the workplace accident that didn't happen, and the millions who didn't suffer or die early. All of that is hard to convey to the public. Put simply, counterfactuals don't make good headlines. So as life has improved, we've let our collective guard down. These past 2 years have laid bare so many of our resulting vulnerabilities: inadequacies in our health systems, gaps in global coordination, underinvestment in social determinants of health, and long-standing inequities hiding in plain sight. Meanwhile, our carbon emissions are again climbing, and the threat of climate change looms large. So today, humanity is once again at a crossroads. Have we reached the end of this incredible run of human flourishing, or are we just getting started? As usual, it's not time that will tell, it's us and what we do. Meeting today's health challenges will take unprecedented cooperation and innovation, but looking at all of you, the next generation of public health leaders, I know we have reason to feel optimistic about our future. COVID-19 has been a devastating setback for global well-being, but it also offers us a new beginning we haven't seen in a century, an opportunity for countries to rebuild smarter, greener, more resiliently, and more equitably now than ever before. Already, we're seeing early inklings of progress, not just in biomedical achievements like the vaccines and antivirals, but in our awareness and priorities. Look no further than the surge in interest in public health programs across the country. Applications were up 40% from 2020 to 2021 here at Harvard Chan alone. Now, don't get me wrong, we have a great marketing team, but I think there's something else to this spike. Indeed, public health is having a moment, and all of you are poised to take this moment and turn it into a movement, one that will usher in the next great period of human flourishing. Everything you've learned during your time here has made you capable public health stewards, but going through this crisis will make you exceptional ones. And because of it, you are the ones who will drive our next century of progress, our next great escape. So thank you, and again, congratulations to the class of 2020 and the class of 2021.